One of the biggest stories this offseason that you've been right on the nose, Donovan Mitchell, how upset, or, it just seems, I would say not upset, but rather it looked as though the tensions were frayed. How about that?
Yes, yeah.
And he was traded to the Cavaliers. So this is an interesting move. We thought it was going to be New York.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Cleveland. And the Jazz, we thought, okay, well, what is the price of Donovan Mitchell, an all-star player with the potential of being a superstar in the league someday? We saw what the price tag for Rudy Gobert was, astronomical. What was his price tag? Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji coming out of Kansas, Colin Sexton. That's the big one. 3 unprotected first-round picks, huge, 2025, 2027, and 2029, and 2 pick swaps, 2026 and 2028. Do you think this was a good move?
Yeah. First off, for the Jazz, look, they got a lot of picks, a lot of pick swaps. They're going to be able to flip Lauri Markkanen into something. I don't think he'll end the season with the Jazz. They got Colin Sexton. If you play fantasy, I'm telling you, if you're a fantasy basketball player, pick up Colin Sexton now. Like the first, not first round guy. He's not up there with Luka or what, Embiid or whatever, but get him early. This guy exists on every season, right? There is a good, nice player, a good player putting up monster numbers on a terrible team because somebody's got to score. That's Colin Sexton this year. He's gonna put up killer fantasy numbers for you. I get why the Jazz did it. I think, honestly, Corey, I've asked this question of others. I'll ask it of you. You get 3 unprotected Cavaliers picks. The Knicks were only offering 2. Would you rather have 3 Cavaliers picks with them having this roster, or would you rather have 2 Knicks unprotected picks?
I mean, the way that the NBA works right now when you're talking about rebuilding, because this is what this is, by the way.
Yeah.
In Utah, complete rebuilding.
Yeah.
I think more picks is a good thing. But it's interesting because for me, I don't understand this. And this is just, between you and me and all of our friends listening. I just don't understand the mentality because in like traditional rebuilding, you would want to accumulate as many picks as possible, right? And then hope you get a lottery where maybe you get someone like a Giannis or a Luka or a LeBron, right? Where you can then build around.
This is the Wembanyama Scoot Henderson draft.
and then what ends up happening though in today's NBA, due to the fact that people aren't maturing until their 4th or 5th or 6th, basically their second deal, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th year in the league, their second deal or so, that's when they become the players that that what you're going to get from them. To me, these first round picks don't mean as much, which is interesting because that's like the classic playbook, and I think it's kind of failing. But if I have to go classic playbook, I would rather have more picks than possible, than possible. So that's kind of my take. What about yours?
I'd be hesitant. I think the Cavaliers have the chance. They're going to be good and have the chance to be very good for a number of years. The Knicks historically are more likely to mess this up. Let's be honest. Like just historically, I might be more tempted to take them, but I get where they're at with this. If you notice, these picks and pick swaps all start in 25 and after, which is when Donovan Mitchell's, he's on a 3-year deal, but it's 25 is when that deal comes up. There's a little bit of a bet there, I think, by the Jazz that, who knows, does Donovan Mitchell want to be in Cleveland long term? And he reportedly is very happy right now. If that team is winning, he very well may stay. But I think there's a bit of a bet that, hey, is he going to stay there or might we luck out? And by the way, I'm not sure how much that helps because I think Evan Mobley is amazing. They've got Jared Allen. They've got locked up Darius Garland. That's a pretty good team. That's a solid team even without Mitchell. So I like this. By the way, I do like this for Cleveland. What about you? I think it's a bit of a gamble, but a good gamble for Cleveland.
No, I think Cleveland definitely won here. I think that they're in a really good position. I think that Evan Mobley, like you mentioned, he's one of the bright young stars coming up. I think what they're trying to do, it's funny, Minnesota tried to do this, right? Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. they wanted a two big man kind of structure, and then Cleveland ended up doing the same thing, right? With now, but it's much younger, but with Jared Allen and Mobley, with now two slashers, in Garland and in Mitchell. I think on paper, I think this is definitely they're moving up into that 4 to 6 space in the Eastern Conference, which is interesting because this is where we start getting a little like, I'm walking on eggshells here because I don't want to hope. I'm very hesitant to hope with Cleveland. Any non-LeBron Cleveland teams, I'm very hesitant to hope with. But to me, they're knocking on the door of the Philadelphia 76ers, which in that Eastern Conference, like, because I think 5 and 6 is like totally up for grabs, right? I think the top 3 are very clearly established with, Miami, Boston, and Milwaukee. I think those 3 are at the top, upper echelon. I think Philadelphia is number 4 squarely in that position, but I think that they are so wildly elemental where they could be really good or really bad, where I think a solid team that's talented like Cleveland could actually give the 76ers a run for their money, which is shocking. And then I think Brooklyn is actually in that 4 to 6 conversation too, just because it's so unstable.
They're the wild card. Look, for me, it's kind of Celtics Bucks, who I trust to be good this season. You get into I don't want to say a second tier, but I think the 76ers are going to win a lot of regular season games. I think that they're going to be a good team. Do I trust James Harden in the playoffs is a question to be answered. I'm not sure that I trust him the way, I know Jason Tatum will be fine. I know Giannis will be fine. We'll see. But I think they're going to win a lot of regular season games. The Heat are going to play hard, get the most out of their guys. That's 4, right? You're already at 4. The Nets could be amazing. Yeah, exactly. And we haven't, now you get into Cleveland. And the other team we didn't mention is Toronto, which is they finished in the playoffs last year. They're just weird, tough to play against. They are a different kind of team because they're just a lot of 6'4" to 6'9" guys who are all switchable. They shoot the 3. When they're running in the regular season, when they can really get out and run in transition and not rely on the half court, they're really good. That is a really good team that plays really good defense, and they could finish in there. Well, now we've listed 7 teams. One of those teams ends up in the play-in. It's not the East is deep with good teams this year, and Cleveland's going to have to. I like them as a playoff team. I think they're a top 6 team, but they're going to have to earn it. They're going to have to show it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree. I think they took a huge step forward. To me, they were kind of like the Pelicans, when they got CJ McCollum, where I was like, oh wow, that was a team that maybe potentially could go somewhere. And then when they got CJ, it was okay. This is an exciting team to look forward to. And then when they add Zion back, where could they go? And that was Darius Garland in the play, last year against the Nets. That idea to me, I was like, wow, this Cleveland team is interesting. I don't think they're there yet. But now with Donovan Mitchell, it's kind of well, how far could they go? And I think it's a very interesting thought experiment. I do want to say Lauri Markkanen, I think he's an interesting character, just his NBA career so far, because Chicago took a bet on him, didn't work out, right? Cleveland took a bet, didn't work out. You mentioned he probably won't even spend the whole season in Utah. So it's kind of well, what is his role going to be moving forward? Because he has this unbelievable, on paper, skill set where you're thinking he could be really good. He just dropped over 40 recently, overseas.
He's been fantastic at EuroCup, in Eurobasket, I should say. And he's been one of the best. I mean, Giannis has been the best player because he's the best player on the earth. Giannis has been amazing, right? And Greece still got eliminated. But Lauri Markkanen's been fantastic.
But it hasn't translated to his NBA career yet, which is interesting. It's interesting. So I think as far as the Jazz are concerned, I think you're right. Fantasy, it's a gold mine for fantasy players. Colin Sexton, I think, is going to be kind of the one buoy for them, keeping them somewhat afloat. Because right now this is going to be a dark era in Utah until they.
By the way, Utah's not done. Let's be clear. Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson. I've heard they want to hang on to Beasley. We'll see. I'm forgetting some people there. They've got a number of veterans still on the roster that may very well be moved by the start of the season. Certainly will be moved by, and Markkanen's in there, will be moved by the time we get to the trade deadline. They're not done. outside of Bogdanovich, I'm not sure they're getting a first-round pick for anybody who's left, but they're not done moving guys.
Yes. And as far as one last note on Mitchell, I think this is going to be just interesting psyche-wise for him, to kind of think about just the trajectory that he's kind of been through, where you have rising star out of the bubble to one of the best teams in the NBA to not being able to have, excellent performances in the postseason to the, in team fighting or whatever. And Ainge's comments recently about how this team didn't believe in each other last season, I think that was a very revealing comment about, that leadership in that locker room. But this is a clean slate, a chance to be reborn, right? And I think this opportunity of rebirth for Donovan Mitchell should be interesting because of the way that, he operates, at least, publicly, as someone who's, I think, very stoic and very focused on leadership. I wonder how he then comes into Cleveland, reborn with this new idea of another chance to lead a team that has all the pieces. The groundwork is there for them to be a top 6 team. So I think this could be an interesting leaping emergent kind of spot for Donovan Mitchell, just to throw it out there.
I agree. And by the way, I think the Cavaliers fans are going to love him. His players are going to love him. I don't think he is a good leader. He's a little bit quiet, but I don't think there's like a nicer guy who's more active in the community. Like, he was very active in the community in Utah, and I imagine he will be in Cleveland as well.